class as one of my favorites in the concentration is a very, very hard question. All of the classes I took in the concentration were amazing and incredibly rewarding in their own way.
I don't think that I had one that I didn't like.
So I have two equal favorite courses in the film studies department. One of them was Rick Warner taught a film theory class that was basically the same as our intro to film theory, but it was a 600 level, so we went way more in depth. It was really amazing to really understand the theory and see how it applies and watch so many different interesting films and revisit some of the films that I'd already seen in one of Professor Warner's classes, but understand them in a way that I wouldn't have 2 years ago. And another favorite was Martin Johnson taught a independent cinema of the American South, I think is the title. It's something like that. I think I learned a lot of theory in Rick Warner's classes, and I learned a lot of history in Martin Johnson's classes, which is why it was so good to have both of them.
The essay film class I took was one of my favorites because it was just so challenging, and every time I would watch a film, I felt like I would think about it for days afterwards.
It was very galaxy brain. Like, I would just be sitting there, like my mouth would just be like open because I was just so like fascinated by everything that we were talking about. And whenever we'd finish, and I would like call my mom and I'd be like, Mom, you'll never believe what we talked about in class today. You have to watch this movie. And she was like, yeah, okay. When I was like, no, you have to watch it. And like, it just made me so excited. That was the class that convinced me to do the major, because every single class I felt like I couldn't get enough of it.
So yeah, my favorite class that I've taken in the film studies program is definitely cinema and surrealism. I took it my sophomore year, second semester, and it kind of felt like up to that point, the classes, it was getting deeper and deeper into stuff, but there seemed to be kind of a natural progression through everything. And then I took this class and it was just jumping right in the deep end. There's kind of this new logic that just emerges, and it recontextualized like everything. Whether I'm watching a movie that is surreal or in the surrealism movement, or just any movie.
Just because I never really thought of surrealism as its own kind of, as a genre, and that's something that people would play into purposefully when they were making their film. I always felt like surrealism was something they would stumble upon.
Everything that we watched in that course just really was eye-opening and incredible to talk about in class and just experience.
Essentially a new way to watch a movie. Relearning the logic of cinema. It's crazy.
When I took the Western with Greg Flaxman, the course was a very small size. I think there was probably about a dozen of us, and we just kind of met, I don't know, once or twice a week, and we just talked about movies, and we talked about the conventions of the Western, and I always really enjoyed that because it felt almost like a very intimate discussion group.
The American film in 60s and 70s was great because the 60s and 70s was really just a great age for film. The movies were a lot of fun to watch, and it was interesting to see how it seems like the 60s and 70s are a long time away and also a short time away, and to connect with, the ideas and themes that are universal was really interesting.
Probably my favorite was the Hitchcock focused class, specifically the second half of the semester, getting to see how like one artist's work can influence so many other artists within the film art form. I think that's really one of the biggest strengths about the concentration, is that all these classes help us see how film really is an art form, not just a commercial form of entertainment, but it's a way of communication, and that can influence other people, and that people who are influenced by others can influence others in turn, and it's just a really beautiful cycle to be able to witness and recognize.